Thank you. On March 12th of 2003, in a hotel in Panama, Dr. Stefan Schmidt-Heine signed the deed that transferred all of his productive assets in Latin America to Viva Trust. At that time, we called it an experiment, we called it an innovation in the way philanthropy was to be executed. But frankly, what I call it is a courageous innovation and great generosity on the part of Dr. Schmidt-Heine. As he described it, it was an effort to continue his work and transfer his values beyond his own natural life. We're glad that you're still here with us, Stefan, hopefully for a long time. But the fact is that Viva Trust, up to that time, was an organization led by his vision and values directly, transferred to the organizations. Viva Trust, as you will see in a minute, makes us responsible production through Grupo Nueva with his work with innovation in philanthropy under a single strategy. And although we can never hope to substitute the vision and values of Dr. Schmidt-Heine, the fact is that we try to make up for it with strong work every single day, and mostly by leveraging off the social capital that he has created throughout the region, building up many alliances, many friendships, and relationships with the most incredible leaders the region has to offer. What he did, however, was not just an act of generosity. It was also a strong mandate to continue making a difference, to expand his impact, and evolve as necessary to continue advancing the sustainability agenda in Latin America. Let me now introduce you to the leaders who carry this responsibility and who carry the mandate to transfer his values, his vision, and to act upon the sustainability of Latin America. Roberto?
Are we ready? Yes. Well, good morning. During all the day, we have been listening a lot of challenges, from security to climate change, from scarcity of some vital resources to other kind of issues in environmental and social. But one question arises to our mind. Another question has to arise. Is the planet demanding new role for the business sector? And certainly the answer is yes. But what are those challenges? Let me summarize, as we understand at the moment, some of them. Number one would be corporation has to be a more trusted part of society. Number two, we have to be more able to create new capabilities. Mainly capabilities to interact in a better way with other sectors. Capabilities to create more social capital, to be part of the solutions, not just analyzing the problems. To innovate, but not just on technology. On top of that, in social and environmental solutions. When you answer in this way, you say, what, this is very tough. And it is. Because it needs change of paradigms, mindsets. And changing that kind of things is not an easy path. So what is the response that you can do? Some company, they say, I will challenge myself, I will do something. And then they do anything. Other company says, no, too risky. I highly committed with my short-term results with shareholders. So I will see and wait. And wait what? Fortunately, there are other kinds of companies that say, this is very hard, but we are trying to do something. We are part of that kind of company. And we are adopted, and we are in a streamlining process every day to improve a new approach called the triple bottom line. And the triple bottom line is the capability or the capacity of the corporation to create value at the same time in the economic, obviously, social and environmental dimension at the same time. And we do that applying this concept within our investment. Today, our investments are focused on Macisa. Macisa is a company, it's a multi-Latin company, specialized in forestry and manufacturing of wood panels. All the tables that you see here and all the interior design is made by NDF panels or particle board panels. That is a specialty. But how we translate this kind of philosophy into actions and results, that is the key things. So, guided by our founder, our shareholder, and our philosophy, we try to make some real long-term commitments, relevant commitments, public commitments, and we transform that commitments in part of the day-by-day operation because they are reflected in the strategy of the company. So let's talk about 3 of these commitments. Number 1 is to apply and lead a new way to see the corporate governance in corporations. And what kind of advantage this new vision of corporate governance put to the company in a better shape? Number 1 is to fostering the long-term vision and prioritize the long-term vision instead of just focus on the short-term vision. Number 2 is that put together board of directors, shareholders and others to see in what really matters to the future. And last but not the least, and probably this is the most difficult task, is to see all the interests of all the stakeholders instead of just focusing in one of them, the traditional one, the shareholder. And not because we want to be a diffuse operator, no. It's for the self-interest in the long term of the maximum benefit and sustainable benefits of the shareholder. So when you say this, you say, and how this operates in practice. So a very good way to focus in this mindset is to recognize a different way to see companies and society and natural resources, because we are part of them. Put your business beside the planet and recognize that we can find a virtuous cycle that interact between companies and between the planet that create a force of value creation in a sustainable way. Because you start to recognize that we need and we use resources from the planet. And we have to have a very accurate and smart way to quantify, to measure this kind of consumption of resources in terms of fibers for the industry, source of energy, land, people, air, and other resources. And when we transform this, what we give back to the planet is the key of the sustainability, how we do that. And when we're using this kind of elements, we give back not just people, but skilled people, professional people that have to be involved in your process. Certified products, new water, to keep the diversity in the best way that you have, and probably add the biodiversity in at the moment that you receive it. So this kind of process, it comes to the second commitment, is to increase productivity and eco-efficiency. We have taken some reference, mainly the World Business Council for Sustainable Development. They developed a wonderful paper, they say, and they set some 2050 objectives to be a planet more sustainable, using in the better way the resources. And we took this reference and applied all the 9 elements of the original paper to the elements or the dimensions that we influence, that we impact. So when we took this in the forest and material dimension, we create some objectives for 2025. Every day, when trying to be closer to the milestone that we have created for our pathway to this trip. So in terms of forests, we decided that 10% of increase in productivity of hectares in our forestry, in the forestry that we manage. At the same time, we have committed to create, together with NGOs and other players, the new generation plantation standards for forestry that keep the best way that we are doing today, but they are creating the new standard to introduce social impact and more advantage environmental standards to create the forest of the next years. In materials, maximum 5% of fossil fuel energy consumption, perhaps 0. But at 2025, 0 waste using the new technologies of total recycling in our process or process for third parties. Commitment number 3, place people at the heart of the strategy, at the heart of the company. And starting with the people that you are more responsible for, your employees. You cannot be responsible with other people if you don't start within your house, within your home. In this case, your own company and your employees. In Maciza, we are 7,000 people, and we try to be the more accurate to offer them some objectives. Number 1 objective is to be or become the standard in health and safety in all the factories and all the land of the forest that we manage. On the other hand, today nobody recognizes in the furniture purchasing moment what kind of wood or panels they are made. So we decided it would be a wonderful idea, a wonderful contribution for the end consumers that at least 25% of the purchases of furniture in Latin America have to take account sustainability characteristics when they are thinking to buy a furniture. And last but not least, we have created the more important inclusive business within our strategy. We have created a community of carpenters. For 2025, our vision is to have at least 100,000 of carpenters in Latin America that are members of this community and to have been impacted by Maciza in their quality of life and the level of income generation. As a result, the triple bottom line approach it has to be an effective way to gain trust and to be a valid player in society. Number 2, sustainability becomes a key value, not just for what you do or what you say. It's obviously also when things that you don't do. And it makes sense when it is connected to the long-term value, and is valid when you have all alignment, a wonderful alignment between shareholders, employees, customers, and other stakeholders. At the end, it becomes a solid foundation for advantages in the company by all of these people are not just alignment, but it's consistency. And that, perhaps, is the more tough challenge that we have. Thank you. Mr. Oli. ¿Qué pasa? Y aquí lo pones. Ahí está.
Hello? Yeah. Good morning, everybody. It is my pleasure to summarize 30